Hi, I'm Ellen Watrick. I'm the District Manager for Dual Credit Dual Enrollment Partnerships.
Good morning, I'm Erica Malone. I'm coordinator of our sponsored high school programs.
Good morning, my name is Simon Langrer and I'm the coordinator of a program called the Emerson STEM Academy at the Florissant Valley campus.
Okay, I guess that was a cue to please use the microphone, though I'm fairly loud. So just a brief overview of our agenda today. So we're going to talk about a couple of our programs, specifically Make It Count, our sponsored high school programs, and then the Emerson STEM Academy. We'll also have time for a brief Q&A session if you have any questions for us. So let's go ahead and get started. So STLCC, for those of you who don't know, though I'm sure a lot of you do, we have 4 campuses plus several other locations. This fall, our census head count was 14,298 unduplicated students, and we have 75 certificate and degree programs, 8 transfer degrees, 66 CTE certificates, and 1 bachelor's degree that is not yet fully launched, but will be very soon on the Flo Valley campus. So our dual credit enrollment partnerships team, we've expanded this team in recent years just because we've seen so much tremendous growth in our programs. And so you got to meet 4 of the folks that are on this slide. We also have Coletta, who is our administrative assistant. All of us are housed at the Florissant Valley campus, which is the home campus for the program. And then we have a campus coordinator on each of our 4 main campuses. So Ebony Buckles is at Flo Valley, Tanya Wilson at Forest Park, Josh Orndorff at Merrimack, and Erica Fenewald is at Wildwood. So dual enrollment at St. Louis Community College probably looks a lot like how it looks at your institutions. The high school students take classes taught by our STLCC faculty. We have multiple types of dual enrollment programs, and the most exciting part for our partners and for our students is that the cost is only $72.50 per credit hour. So with the very generous support of our board and our chancellor, we were able to discount the dual enrollment tuition rate for these students. Traditional dual enrollment students are the students that come to the college and register for anywhere from 1 to 18 credit hours. They're not a part of a special cohort or group, and so our department doesn't tend to see those dual enrollment students. They go through the standard admissions process. A special cohort student is where we have created a class specifically for dual enrollment students. Sometimes we send an instructor to the high school to teach that class, and sometimes it's an online section that we've created for them, and then there's often a facilitator at the high school that makes sure that the students all go to the room, log in, and do all of their work. And then our early college program is a program for students that are intending to pursue their AA degree at the time of high school graduation. This fall we have about 400 students participating in our early college program, which is really exciting. So we've seen some pretty significant growth, as you can see from this slide. We right now have 30 formal school district partnerships, and we work with about 60 different high schools for dual enrollment. This year we had 2 shy of 2,000 dual enrollment, dual credit students. We're going to break 2,000 next year, I promise. We've seen we are 14% of the total college enrollment at this particular juncture in time, and we've seen 178% growth since fall 2015.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm not going to trip. So Dr. Perkins talked about the variety of programs that we have within our department. And I want to talk a little bit about a program that we've started just in the past couple years that is a little bit off the beaten path from the ones that were described. And this program is called Make It Count. So the program came to be as a consequence of a conversation that we had with one of our school partners. The school partner was very involved in our early college program, which is a 2-year program for students. They enroll full-time junior and senior year of high school, graduate with an associate's degree at the end of that senior year. And what the partner was saying was, you really have to invest so early in this if you're a student. You have to decide in like September of your sophomore year, I'm going to spend the last 2 years of high school in college full time. And that's a really big commitment. It's an intimidating commitment. And it's a very early time in your life to have to make that commitment. And he had so many students who were coming to him after the deadline had passed and in junior year and senior year and saying, well, I still want to go over to STLCC and take a full course load, and I want to have a substantial immersive experience over there. But for whatever reason, I haven't been able to engage with early college. I missed the deadline, or 2 years was too much for me. And so this partner was saying, can we do something for those kids? Because I have so many of them. And I think as we started to look internally, we realized that we had a lot of students who were coming to us spring semester of their senior year. Some of them were graduating early, and so then they were coming and paying full tuition. Some of them had expressed an interest, but were not able to, and so were stuck at high school taking classes that didn't really amount to anything, maybe study halls or electives they didn't need. And so we identified that there was this group of students who was interested, some of them who were even doing it on their own, and really what we needed was to highlight that opportunity for students, to provide some support around it, to give it a name, to do some info sessions and recruiting, and to really create that pathway for students. So we put together Make It Count. The structure that we developed is a fully immersive 1-semester program. It's spring semester of senior year. We ask students to enroll in at least 12 credit hours, so full-time enrollment. We have them on campus, so it is fully immersive. We ask them to step away from the high school environment, and we really want them to think of it as the start of college, that high school is over and you are transitioning to college. And so consequently, we ask them to focus either on the first semester of gen eds toward a 2-year or 4-year degree, or to start working on a credential, either getting prerequisites out of the way for a selective program or focusing on a 1 or 2 semester credential so that they can really make substantial progress towards that goal. We open it up again to those second semester seniors, qualifying GPA. We really want them to be done with all their high school graduation requirements because we want them to have that mental shift of I'm starting college. We do have a couple partners who just have requirements of seniors. One school district, for example, requires all of their students take 4 years of language arts. And so we say, okay, well, you can still participate, and we'll just make sure you get an English 101 in the spring so that you can get that language arts credit and fulfill your graduation requirements. But we really want them to have kind of closed the book so that they can make that mental shift. And we need them to be able to place into college level coursework. So this conversation, these ideas were all happening in fall of 2019, and we thought spring of 2021 would be a really great time to launch the pilot. Students they sign up for classes about a year in advance, so we should really start our recruitment efforts in the spring of 2020. Which is not a great time to launch a new program. So our recruitment efforts were not really what we'd initially designed. We ended up doing recruitment more in the fall. A little bit late to the game if what you're doing is asking a student to kind of change their plans for senior year. But it ended up being a really good opportunity for us to kind of softly test out the idea, work out the kinks. So we did have a small cohort, but it was small. But that allowed us, as I said, to kind of get an idea of what kind of structure we ultimately wanted. And so this is the structure that we've been using for the past 2 years, 21, 22. We're getting ready to do it again in 23. So we recruit 2 times during the year in March because we know that a lot of students are signing up for their full senior year. We want them to be thinking about this experience as part of their senior year plan. And then we come back again in like September, October, when it's time to actually take action. Now you can apply to the college. Now you can enroll. So we try to talk to them at both those times of the year. But we ask the high schools to ultimately be responsible for identifying their own cohort. And we do that because our high schools are paying the tuition for the students who participate in this program. And so we feel like if you're going to pay tuition, you should have some say over who you're supporting. So we ask the high schools to really manage their own application process, their own identification process. Each high school has kind of a different set of priorities for who they want to support through this program. We have some high schools who send us 3 or 4, other high schools who send us 15 or 20. Just kind of depends on what the school district's able to support. After they have selected their roster, they send us that roster, and then we start to do kind of wraparound services, making sure that that student gets through every step from I want to do this through to I'm enrolled in classes for the spring. We involve them in an onboarding process to make sure that they complete those full steps, and then we embed them into our existing orientation program. So the orientations that STLCC offers has a dual enrollment track, and so we just make sure that our students get connected to one of those existing orientations so they can get the information they need. We're a banner school, so we use an attribute and banner to track these students so that we can run reports, keep tabs on how they're doing. And then at the end of the semester, we provide guidance on how they can either continue with us or transfer to another institution. This is really a wonderful group of students to target for continuing, though. They have an existing transcript with us. They've got a full semester under their belt. They're really a phenomenal group of students to connect to recruiting and try to transfer convert is the word I'm looking for, into full-time post-high school students. I think it probably goes without saying, we've had a lot of benefits, a lot of great results come from this program. For the students, there are a lot of different benefits. One, it saves them money. I mentioned that we knew that a lot of students were graduating early, and then they were coming to us and paying full price. So by doing this, students get that discounted tuition and they get to save a lot of money. And the vast majority of our Make It Count students are supported by their high schools, meaning that there's actually no cost to the student because the high school is paying tuition and in some cases covering textbooks as well. Students who wouldn't be covered by their high schools are sometimes eligible for funding through the state through a dual enrollment scholarship. So really a huge cost savings to get that full semester of college either at discounted or completely covered rate. They graduate high school with at least a full semester of college under their belt. If they're working towards a selective program, they can get those prerequisites out of the way so that they can enter that program at an earlier time. And they have that transferability that comes with Core 42. I'm assuming that's a term that we're all very familiar with in this room. They get to enter college with an extra level of support. So they're not thrown in with several thousand other students at the beginning of a big 2 or 4 year experience. They're really coming in as part of this dedicated cohort with a campus coordinator who's really making sure that nobody falls through the cracks. We keep track of every single person and make sure that they do not miss out on their opportunity to enroll. So they really have this full level of support with enrollment, and then once they are taking classes, they retain that support of a high school counselor in addition to all of the standard college support structures. We have that dedicated onboarding where we're really following through the whole process. And they get to remain connected to their high school. So I know, for example, I was a theater kid in high school, and I did not take advantage of a lot of these programs because I didn't want to miss out on my chance to be in the spring play. This is a way that a student can start that college experience while retaining some of that involvement in the high school community. And so we know that that's something that they really appreciate. We're also finding that it's really benefiting the school partners. They can retain their FTE because the students can earn credit for the classes that they're taking with us back at the high school. High schools can receive accreditation points for the students who are participating. It provides an opportunity for students to receive college credit. If the school doesn't have the opportunity to support them in early college, they can still get them some of that college credit before they graduate. They know that their students are more likely to be successful in college long-term because they're coming in with this supportive onboarding experience. If they're a school who has a student and they really need to keep them on that athletic roster, this is a way for them to give them that academic experience while maintaining that roster. And it's cheaper cost per student for instruction. So really a win-win-win for every party involved. In spring of 22, so the most recent full cohort, we had 49 students participate. We don't have final numbers yet, but we're on track to be, I think, in the 60s. Does that sound right? So we're growing this year, and I anticipate that we will continue growing. We just have so much interest, and I think the more and more the word gets out, the numbers are going to keep going up. These are students we really feel we would not have otherwise captured, so we feel like this is a new population of students, and we're seeing our overall dual enrollment increase. So these aren't students who were coming to us anyway, and now we just have a different label on them. This is truly a new group of students that's contributing to our overall enrollment. This has also allowed us to build some new partnerships. We have some high schools who weren't really able to engage with us in dual enrollment. They couldn't support students through early college. There wasn't an opportunity for a special cohort. And so this has really opened up a new avenue. We're like, well, I can afford one semester. I can afford to send you 5 kids for one semester. That's something that I can support students doing. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier, it has really created this recruitment opportunity for this cohort of students who's graduating and is just really primed for continuing on with the college. I'll pass it over to Dr. Perkins to talk about alignment with CTE programs.
So one of the other things that we have found through our dual enrollment and dual credit work is that a lot of the students we've been recruiting are those students that want to do the transfer AAGTS program because they have to. If you're doing early college and you're coming to us starting your junior year, you still have high school requirements that you have to meet. And so you can't just decide that you want to do an AAS in different programs because we only require 15 hours of gen ed for our AAS. It's really centered on those CTE courses. And so the only students that we were able to really recruit for early college are those students who are intending to transfer and get their 4-year degree. So Make It Count opens up a whole new realm of opportunities for students that are interested in our CTE pathways, because that's a population of students that we weren't truly capturing through a lot of our other dual credit, dual enrollment partnerships. And so the single semester program allows them to participate in lots of different programs that we have credentials for that are short term, but it also enables them to do prereq completion for some of our selective admission programs like nursing. So you're going to hear a little bit and just a little bit from Erica about our Make It Count Nursing Scholars program, so I won't steal any of her thunder, but just know that there's some incredible natural alignment between completing prerequisites and starting earlier than they would have typically in some of our health science programs specifically. We know that the community and that the industry desperately needs our graduates in health science, so this is one way that we can help support our community as well. Excuse me. It also ensures that there's no loss of momentum for those students, because if you're interested in doing a CTE program and you graduate early, you might not think to come to the community college right in January when you've finished your high school requirements, and so then maybe you come in August, or maybe you don't come at all. And so we're trying to keep those students engaged with us all the way through so that there's no stoppage in their completion. And I think I already shared it, it captures an entirely different student population. So we have developed some specific pathways for students interested in our CTE, and this is just kind of the beginning. So right now we have pathways for students who are interested in our Life Science Lab Assistant Certificate, which is a program that aligns with the biotech industry. So students can complete that and then move on to completing their biotech AAS if they so choose. Our Precision Machining Technology program is already a 1-semester program, so students can essentially graduate early, come to us for 1 semester in the spring, complete their entire precision machining certificate, and get NIMS industry recognized credentials, and then leave making way more money than I made with a master's degree in English. So that's really exciting for them. Sad for me, I guess. And then we also have different pathways in IT, because we have multiple certificates in IT that are 1 or 2 semester programs. It also gives them, if you are not necessarily interested in doing your CTE work right away, they can always still complete their gen ed requirements for that degree program, or at least get part of the way there. Okay, Erica?
Thank you. Good morning. So as coordinator of our sponsored high school programs, my role, I'm responsible for creating and managing our sponsored high school programs. Those are our dual credit and dual enrollment programs that involve an external partner. Currently, we're working with external partners in industry. They use our programs as a conduit to meet a workforce need. And we're also working with philanthropic organizations and non-for-profit organizations that use our programs to create access for underserved or under-resourced students, that they may lend funds for a scholarship, or they may provide resources to help that student get the head start on that career path. I've been in this role for about 5 months. Many of my programs start enrollment in the spring, so I'm quite busy. I would like to say my role kind of sprang forth because of the population, because of the popularity and the growth of our program, so I'm very grateful for that. So currently, my programs, as Dr. Perkins mentioned, focus on primarily, the 3 of the 4 that I manage currently, focus on the CTE pathways. So that's that bioscience, nursing, as well as our IT fields. We currently have one that's really focused on career and college readiness. So The goal of those programs, working with those industry partners, some of our programs will get a student a guaranteed paid internship, apprenticeship, full-time employment immediately upon completing the program and graduating from high school. And then we have programs that are designed to bridge students over to our Associate of Science programs, so serves as a bridge, and then also prepares them for university transfer. So I'll start off by talking about Make It Count Nursing Scholars. Dr. Perkins mentioned that initially. It's the same program that Ellen spoke on, but the focus is primarily on the nursing profession. It's designed for our second semester seniors to complete 4 of the 7 prerequisite courses for the nursing program. Our nursing program, like all nursing programs, this is a selective admission program. You have to complete a set of prerequisite courses, dosage calculation tests, etc., in order to even apply to the nursing program. This program gives our students not just a head start, but it also gives them a leg up because they complete those 4 prerequisite courses with the spring of 2023. Let's talk about this cohort coming in. And the goal is to have them actually start the program in spring of 2024. Our traditional first-time freshmen will typically come to St. Louis Community College, maybe have a year and a summer in order to complete those prerequisite courses. These students get wraparound services via myself and the staff within the nursing division. They get a particular onboarding process. They get engagement throughout their time with us. Maybe it's a tour of our Center of Nursing and Health Sciences building. Maybe it's a connection opportunity with current students and faculty. So we want them to persist through the program, so we're providing all of this support. And what makes this a sponsored high school program is that the Sci Foundation has provided funding, particularly for our students in the North County and city area, to get a scholarship that will pay for books, fees, and tuition. And so this, again, is a program that both meets a workforce need as well as provide access to students that are in underserved or under-resourced high schools. The requirements for the program, we're looking for college readiness. We're looking for a 2.6 GPA typically. And again, approval from their high school, typically like our Make It Count Make It Count program. The next program I'll be talking about is our Embark program. There is, and this is an understatement, a gargantuan need for bioscience workers in the St. Louis region. In the Midwest, we're considered the Bio Belt. We have close to 20,000 jobs in bioscience in the St. Louis region alone. 1,400 is added every year. We have over 836 bioscience companies in St. Louis, and they're beating down our doors looking for students. Our biotech, our AAS program has an 80% placement rate. So there's a significant workforce need. So we partner with the center, Danforth Center, to provide this opportunity for students to complete their life science lab assistant certificate while they're in high school. And on completion of this program and this certificate, they're guaranteed an internship, or they can opt to get an entry-level job in bioscience. I toured Thermo Fisher Scientific, which is located in North County. Students that complete our Life Science Lab Assistant Certificate can apply to become a Tech 1, making $45,000 to $46,000 a year right out of high school. And they provide students tuition assistance. So once they complete one semester, let's say at the community college, and they complete it successfully, they will continue to pay for that student upon completion of their associate's degree. And then we also have a transfer agreement in biotechnology for students to transfer over to University of Missouri St. Louis to continue that bachelor's degree. So we provide a pathway from that certification all the way to the completion of the bachelor's degree via the Embark program. So some of the benefits of the program, again, is the reduced tuition rates. And what's great about this program, that a student can use a combination of dual credit and dual enrollment to complete the certification. We offer, I want to say, 3 out of the 5 classes that are required for this program and for dual credit through our various high schools. So that's a huge benefit, so the student can complete in a variety of ways. What we're looking for is a high school juniors or seniors, but I have some sophomores that are very interested in the program. They must meet the admissions requirements for dual credit, dual enrollment, and they, of course, must have permission from their high school to participate. Students have scholarship opportunities through the Jumpstart Scholarship for dual credit. Emerson STEM Academy is a great partnership. Simon will talk about that, where they can get their transportation and books paid for, and again, connection with our industry partners. Another big and booming field is IT. We're working with Doherty Business Solutions to offer the students an opportunity to accelerate their entrance into a career in information technology. This is a program where students will participate in dual enrollment courses the second semester of their senior year. They're taking Java 1 and Java 2 with us, and then that following summer they take one more course, and then they go right into a paid apprenticeship with Access Point with one of their partner companies. And then they're also guaranteed, if that goes well, to go on to entry-level employment in the information technology field, again, making anywhere $40,000 or above. Their mantra, if you go on their website, it's from high school to career in a year. So we provide them that wraparound support, but Access Point provides a bit more, where they're looking to reach down to schools throughout the St. Louis region. Their focus started in those under-resources. They're looking for the minority population, but however, they've expanded. I believe the first cohort had around 40, well, not the first cohort, but the cohort last year had about around 60 students, and they're looking to expand to 100 students this year, 100 plus students this year. Now, the difference, again, we're going after a different population. The requirement for students to be eligible for this program, they must be college ready and reading proficient. We're looking for a 2.0 cumulative non-weighted GPA for students to gain access to this program. Now, we don't accept them to our program, accept them to Access Point. They go through the Access Point organization in order to apply to the program. We're just a partner that provides the program, the academic programming for this program. Next. And then the next program is the St. Louis Internship Program. We partner with them. They're a non-for-profit organization that works with the Boys and Girls Club, and it provides access to high school juniors, seniors, and sophomores to get them college and work ready. They provide intensive training programs, summer programs, again, to help that student transition from college to career seamlessly. This spring semester, those students are set to take COM 101, which is our oral communications course, our IS course, which is our Excel, and our Smart Start course. Again, those are excellent ways for students to get college ready and make that transition from high school to college. The requirements for the internship program, high school, sophomore, junior, they must be in high school in the city or county, 2.0 cumulative non-weighted GPA, and demonstrate financial need. And of course, meet the admissions requirements for St. Louis Community College Dual Enrollment Program. So currently, my strategies in the 5 months I've been in this role, again, emails to counselors, instructors, classroom presentations I found have been particularly popular with our Embark students. I go out to our to the classrooms where our dual credit instructors are teaching those bio classes and present on the Embark program. We're going to college fairs. We have on-demand videos, hopefully in progress, virtual information sessions, and emails to our currently enrolled dual enrollment students that have interest. We also have flyers, and then we also provide information at community events. Now I hand it over to Simon.
Hello. I'm excited to chat with you about the program that I coordinate, which is called the Emerson STEM Academy. So the goal of the Emerson STEM Academy was to increase interest in STEM fields for student groups that are currently underrepresented in the STEM workforce. Females currently only make up 28% of the STEM workforce, and people of color only make up 16%. We also wanted to have opportunities for these students to take prerequisite courses so they can enter the STEM pathway at the 4-year college level. So they can take their prereqs with us and then transition to the 4-year level all before they graduate high school. And also, we wanted these students to have the opportunity to explore different STEM fields. Maybe they know they're interested in STEM, but they don't know what STEM field they're interested in. So students in our program explore different STEM fields, and they can choose a pathway and then enter a 4-year degree. So an overview of the program, it's a dual enrollment program for STEM-interested high school students in North County school districts. When students are in the program, they complete at least 12 hours of college credit. That's the minimum. Many students complete way more than that. If students complete up to 60 hours, then they are able to earn their associate's degree before they graduate high school. We have some really cool perks for students in the program. In my opinion, probably the biggest one is that students get free textbook rental in the program. It's obviously a big money saver. And also they have other required course materials that are covered also. So if they need lab goggles or lab coats for their science class, they can rent those as well. We have dedicated math tutoring from the coordinator, that's me. We also have a dedicated faculty liaison who is a member of the staff at STLCC Florissant Valley, who is available to support and assist students. We have a speaker series where we have STEM speakers come in and talk to students and potentially open up other areas of interest for those students to hear about different career paths. We also have an area on campus called the ESA Suite that is specifically for ESA students to be between classes, to do their homework, to chat with each other. It's a computer lab, a lounge area, and my office is what makes up the ESA Suite. There's free transportation for any school district that has 10 or more students in the program. And it's not just Emerson STEM students that are able to ride that bus. We need 10 Emerson STEM students in that school district to qualify for the free transportation, but once the school district qualifies for it, anyone can ride the bus to and from. So that's a big benefit to the school districts that qualify for the free transportation. And also graduation outcomes are helped by ESA students' strong performance in their college classes. In order to be eligible for the Emerson STEM Academy, you need to attend a public high school in the North County School District. You need a 2.5 GPA, and we need a commitment to a major in a STEM field. We ask on the application specifically what STEM field the student is interested in. As the students in the program, they need to complete at least 12 hours. It's usually 4 classes. Usually students are in the program for up to 2 years and more. So if they just take 1 class every semester, they'll meet that requirement. Although, as I said, many students take a lot more classes than that. We also, the only specific class that we require is Math 140 or a higher STEM pathway math. That's to make sure they are on the right math track to enter that STEM degree as they graduate high school. And also they need to maintain a 2.5 STLCC GPA while they're in the program. Just to give you a little history of the program, we started in the fall of 2017 with a whopping 2 students in the program. In the spring of 2018, we grew to 13 students, but we still only had 1 high school participating at that point. Just to kind of paint a picture of our current cohort of Emerson STEM students, in the spring of 2022, students in ESA averaged a 3.14 GPA. That happens to be pi. I wanted to point that out. And they earned an average of 6.53 hours of college credit, so that's over half of the required 12 hours that students were averaging in just that one semester. We also have 58 students currently in the program. That's at 4 different school districts and 6 different high schools. Just to kind of paint a picture of our current structure and process for onboarding these students, in the spring, we're onboarding for the fall. That's our larger group. And then in the fall, we onboard for the spring. We open up the application for about a month, usually September to October in the fall and February to March in the spring. This is when I'm hosting info sessions. I'm traveling to high schools. I'm also doing them virtually, trying to get word out about the program. High school counselors are looking for students who are interested in STEM fields to promote the program to them. So once the application's closed, it goes to a couple places. It first comes back to us where we approve the STEM field and make sure that the student listed something that STLCC considers to be STEM. Then it goes to a counselor for approval, and then it goes to a recommender for approval before coming back to us. And then we conduct an interview with the student. It's just a 10 to 15 minute interview. Basically just gives me and the faculty liaison a chance to meet the student, interact with them a little bit, and also answer any questions they have before they start. During the semester, myself and the faculty liaison, we track student performance. We track their attendance. We track their midterm grades. We also send an email every single semester to every single instructor of an Emerson STEM student asking for a progress report for that student, where I'm then able to sit down with any student who's struggling in a course and formulate a plan to get them through the rest of that course. That is all from me. Does anyone have any questions?
How much engagement with the parents of the students is there?
Just generally or in Emerson STEM specifically?
Or generally?
There's a lot of engagement. And I think the level of engagement depends upon each student and each parent, of course. Some parents contact us a lot more frequently. I know some parents' phone numbers by heart when I see it pop up on my phone. And I'm like, oh, okay, hello, nice to see you again. Some of them, we're on first name basis. And then others, I might not see or hear from them at all after we meet them in the info session. But we do have, the info sessions are open to students and parents, and we encourage the parents to come. We think it's really important that the parents get to hear the expectations and the responsibilities and guidelines. And I know our high school partners also do info sessions and encourage the parents to come too. A lot of the parent involvement still tends to stay on that high school side. And so most of the engagement that we tend to have is between us and the high school liaison, and the high school liaison facilitates that conversation with the parents.
I'm from MCCA Kansas City, and this is great stuff. Way to go. Well done, you all. We struggle a little bit with the transportation piece with all of our different high schools, and some of them are willing to pay for the transportation, some of them are not. Talk to me about, especially you talked about the free transportation. Who's paying for that? What are some of the logistics? Is the corporate sponsor paying for that?
Yes, so we were very fortunate a couple of years ago, actually prior to my arrival in 2016, we received $1 million grant from Emerson Electric Corporation to institute the Emerson STEM Academy. And so for the North County school districts, we're very fortunate to have the Emerson STEM Academy because one of our school partners, for instance, has 10 ESA students, but they have another 10 early college students.
Sure.
And if they're sending a bus, I'm like, just put all the kids on the bus. It doesn't matter. And then they send us their invoice at the end, and then we pay it, so they're out of no pocket. STLCC is also incredibly fortunate that we have a U-Pass for all of our students, so they can ride any city bus or the MetroLink. It's not a perfect solution because buses don't run everywhere. MetroLink doesn't go everywhere, but it does also help offset some of that transportation issue. The biggest challenge we have is that we'll tell a parent, well, you have the U-Pass and the student can ride, and here's your bus route. And they say, I'm not putting my 15-year-old on a city bus by themselves. So a lot of the school districts are, particularly in North County, still pay for the bus even if they don't participate in Emerson STEM. Other questions? Okay.
Nice work. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for being here.